Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is Chenelle, the owner of 3 Balls Handmade Soaps and More. And in today's video, I'm going to be making this very simple cold process soap. Alright y'all, so as always, I have everything out on the table that I am going to be working with for today. And since this is a more detailed type of video, we're just going to go through everything. Right here I have some gloves. I have 2 pair of gloves. Now you're probably going to use more than 2 pair. I know I always do. So make sure you have you some gloves handy. I also have my 2 spatulas here. Now I do like to use 2 spatulas. One for my oils and stuff and another one for my lye solution. I also have my thermometer here. And this is an infrared thermometer. So I have that. And then I also have my scale. I have me some protective eyewear. We're definitely gonna need these. And I also have a long spot pitcher. Now right here I have my I do have my square container. I have a clear square container. If y'all see that right there in the corner, y'all, that's just my charger cord for my camera, so don't pay that any mind. My charging block for the camera. But anyway, so right here I have my test loaf. Now I will have a recipe link down below for this video. For this video, we're only doing 3 ingredients, so it's gonna be very simple. But yeah, so we're just gonna use this test loaf for today. And then I also have my stainless steel bowl and another bowl here. Now I personally like to use multiple bowls in the event that I pour a little extra or go over the amount that I need. I can always correct that. Whereas if I'm weighing out everything together, it's definitely going to be a lot harder to correct. And it's just, for me personally, it's just a lot easier to weigh everything out separately. All right, so now we got that out of the way. I'm going to clean off my table and then we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, now first I like to start by weighing out my ingredients. So first thing I do is just tear my scale, make sure it is zeroed out. And then we're going to go ahead and go in with some shea butter. Now the shea butter that I am using which regular shea butter will work just as fine as well. But the shea butter that I have here in this video is the raw unrefined shea butter. So that's why you see it has that yellow tint to it. So this soap contains shea butter, coconut oil, and olive oil. That's it. That's all. And the recipe will be linked down below, as well as a screenshot of Soap Cal at the end of this video. Now, right here, I'm adding in the coconut oil. And y'all, I accidentally looked at, which I'm glad I caught my mistake. And I did not want to, I could have edited this part out, but I did not want to edit this part out to show you that I too make mistakes. And what's most important is that we catch them and correct them. Now, right here, I am just removing the extra coconut oil that I put in my container. I accidentally added more coconut oil. I was looking at the olive oil and so I caught my mistake before it was too late, and that's what you see me doing right now, just correcting my mistake by removing the extra coconut oil. Now I do want to mention that the description down below, the recipe will be listed in ounces. However, like I said earlier, I will have a screenshot of the recipe from Soap Calc. So you can always just take a screenshot if you're someone that uses grams. So you will be able to see that at the end of this video. Now right here, I did go over just a little bit. I mean, I could have just let it stay at the 9.65, but I wanted to get it down to 9.60. So, and as you can see, it wasn't really much that I had to take out, but that's what I'm doing right now. It's just removing the little bit of olive oil that was extra. All right, y'all, so now here I am with my sodium hydroxide. I actually lost the footage of me weighing out my sodium hydroxide, but here I am in my well ventilated area. And whenever you're working with sodium hydroxide, you just want to make sure that you take the necessary precautions to protect yourself. Your gloves, protective eyewear, long pants, long sleeves, closed-toe shoes, all that good stuff. Make sure that you're not around any children, pets, anything like that, and always keep it out of everyone's reach. This stuff will get really hot once you combine this sodium hydroxide to your liquid, any liquid. It will get extremely hot, and you always want to add the sodium hydroxide to the liquid. Never add the liquid to the sodium hydroxide. Now you're gonna see right here, it's very cloudy, and I'm not for sure if my camera catches it or not, but it will have like some, I guess, fumes, a little smoke, coming up. These fumes can be very strong, so make sure that you are in a well ventilated area. If you can't go outside, definitely open up a window or even use your stove, your vent that's over your stove. So you definitely have options there. Just make sure that you're in a well ventilated area and you're taking the necessary precautions to protect yourself. Now you just want to continue, once you slowly add in your sodium hydroxide to your liquid, then you just want to continue to stir this. Just keep stirring it. It will eventually turn clear. Now once it turns clear, that's when I like to check my temp. Now I've seen some, say you want your temp to be between 180 and 200, and some even a little over 200. I've gotten mine up to 200. I've gotten my water loss solution up to 200, and around 180. And as a matter of fact, I think for this video, it got up to like 176, I think it was, or 170 something. But all you're going to do is, like I said, I continue to stir mine. And then as soon as it turns clear, once it turns clear, that's when I check the temp. So, and that's what you see me doing right now. And we are at 175.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So I like to wait a little bit, which I checked it again right after. Just because I wasn't for sure when I was standing outside trying to look through the lens, I wasn't for sure if my camera caught that or not. So yeah, it was like 176.9. So I just kept stirring it up a little bit more, and then you'll see me check it again, like another minute or two, somewhere in there, and the temp did come down some. So once it starts to come down, I will leave it outside because it's still a little hot. I will let it sit outside for maybe like another minute, if that, maybe like another minute or two, somewhere in there. Like right there, we're at 172.2. So right here is where I just kind of let it sit outside because it's still giving off a little bit of fumes. So I just let it sit outside for maybe like another minute or two before I actually bring it inside and put it on my table. All right, so after I get my water loss solution out of the way and it's on the counter cooling down, I then head over to my stove. Now, me personally, I like to heat all of my oils up at the same time. You do not have to. You can definitely melt your hard oils first, or your butters and your hard oils first. But me personally, again, I just like to heat everything up at the same time. So that's what you see me doing right now. Just adding in my olive oil in with the rest of my oils. Now I will let these heat up to about 150 to about 160 degrees is the temp that I usually go for with my oils. And you don't want to bring it to a boiling point. That is not, what we're looking for at all. You just want them to be melted. That's it. After I remove my oils from the stove, I do allow them to kind of cool just a little bit in my stainless steel bowl before I add them to my plastic container. Now the temp for our oils was 108, and the temp for our water loss solution was at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I did allow these to cool just a little bit more, allow them to cool down a little bit more. And now, then I was at 97 degrees, and then my water loss solution was at like 93.6 degrees. Now at this point, I was okay with that. If you go, you know, a little bit below 90 degrees, that's fine. Now, I personally like to soap under 100 degrees, and I also like for my temps of my oils and butters and my water loss solution to be within 10 degrees of each other. It just, and like I said, depending on the additives, will determine how low I go under 100 degrees. So just keep that in mind, because certain things can help speed up trace, like your clays and certain essential oils, and you know, just certain additives can, honey, sugars, you know, certain things can help to speed up trace. Now right here, I just added in my water loss solution into my oils, and then we're just gonna stick blend this until we reach trace. Now you do want to make sure that you be careful of false trace. So that's pretty much, false trace is when you get like a false emulsification. And that's just when the oils, and where it looks like the oils and water loss solution have been emulsified, but technically they're not. And that usually happens like if your oils or your water loss solution is pretty much like too cold, you know, when you combine them. So just be mindful of that. False trace, when you get false trace, you could end up with, your soap will look fine, but after it gets in the soap mold, it can be all oily and stuff at the top. So just be careful of that, of false trace, like that false emulsification. So now again, I'm just stick blending this, just kind of moving my stick blender back and forth, making sure that I have everything, making sure that everything is just getting blended up very well. And then you'll know whenever you're like at trace, because you can take the stick blender or spatula and just move it back and forth over the soap, and you can see like a line, you know, the trace, like, you know, the line will stay on the top. So pretty much the soap will continue to stay on the top whenever you move it back and forth. Now right here, I'm just checking to see if I was at trace. Usually if I'm adding, like, I like to add my powders and stuff and essential oils after my clays after I reach trace. So I usually kind of get to like a light to medium trace, and then I will add those in. That way it'll still give me a little time to work with the soap and get those blended up. You don't have to add your powders and clays and stuff at trace. You can always add them before you add your water loss solution. Like kale and clay for one, colloidal oats, you can definitely add those in before you add your water loss solution. Now right here again, I'm still kind of just checking, and as you can see, we're like at trace right here. So, and see how that's kind of like staying on the top. We got our soap kind of sitting on the top. So right here, I'm just gonna wipe off my stick blender, and we're gonna scrape the pan, and you'll see again whenever I move the spatula back and forth over the top of the soap. All right, now here I am just adding the soap, my soap, into my test loaf. Now, after I got my soap into the mold, usually I will, you know, texture my tops. Y'all know I love to texture my tops whenever I do make cold process. However, for this video, I did want to keep it as simple as possible, since this could be, you know, someone's first time making soap, you know, having to go at their very first soap. So I wanted to keep it very simple. So therefore, I did not touch the top at all. And me personally, I will take a blanket once I get my soap in the mold, and if I'm going to texture it. If not, Once I get it in the mold, I like to take a blanket, what you see me doing right now, a blanket towel, and I will place that on my soap. And this is just to help it go through gel phase, and it just sits on my table overnight. All right, y'all, so here we are 24 hours later. Now, I usually let my soaps sit covered up for, it depends. Sometimes, the majority of the time, whenever I do make cold process soap, the majority of the time they will sit for 24 hours. Now, sometimes, time get the best of me and I don't get to them until like 48 hours later. But within the 24 to 48 hour range, I do try to get my soaps unmolded and cut. So now we're gonna unmold this to see if we got a full gel. And full gel is just when it has like that translucent look to it. Sometimes the color will change. It'll start on the inside, and it just pretty much, the soap will heat up once it goes into the soap mold. When you're making cold process, the gel phase is pretty much where it just heats up. Your soap will heat up, and then you will see it start to gel. Sometimes you'll get a partial gel. That's where the whole soap did not gel. For the most part, most of the time I do end up with a full gel. Sometimes I do get a partial gel, but the majority of the time it's like a full gel. And like I said, it gives you like that, you get like a translucent look. It starts on the inside and then just work its way over the entire soap mold. So, and some people, not everyone likes to gel their soaps. I like to gel my soaps, and you'll hear or see some put them in the fridge, and that's just to stop it from going through gel phase. But yeah, me personally, I like to gel mine. So, and now we're just gonna unmold the soap. Yep, so like I said, we got us a full gel. Now if it was a partial gel, sometimes you can see like it'll be like an oval shape here, or you can even see it like at the bottom or something like that, where the color is like a little darker here, and then darker down at the bottom. But you'll be able to know if you have a partial gel. Does it affect the quality of the soap? No, it does not. So no worries there at all. Now I'm just going to get my soap cutter. Alrighty. Now y'all, this soap cutter, I love this soap cutter. I will have the stuff that I'm using the stuff that I am using in this video will be linked down below for anyone that is interested. And this soap cutter, I started with the other one, the one where you had to like press with the little log thingy and you just press it down. That's the one that I started out with, and then I eventually, about a couple years later, upgraded to this one. And I love this one because I probably should have wiped it off down there, but it has like the numbers and all of that. So however thick you want your bars, yeah, I definitely should wipe that off, but however thick you want your bars, you just line it up, twist this little thingy here, like stop it or whatever, and then you just place your soap on there and cut, and just go from there. But like I said, I like this soap cutter. The other soap cutter will do. It did for me for quite some time, so it worked for me for quite some time. But now we're just gonna cut our soap. And there we go. Now do keep in mind, of course, the color of your oils will determine, your soap. Like I used the unrefined shea butter. So this one, I'm not sure how well it's picking up on camera, but it does have like a almost like a yellowish tint to it. But yeah, other than that, I'm pleased with how the soap came out. And of course, if y'all have any questions, let me know down below, or you can always message me on Instagram. And be sure to tune in to our live streams every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, And if you are enjoying this video thus far, please consider leaving us a thumbs up. And if you have not done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And we thank you in advance. And there we have it. Our soaps are all cut up. Now let's move on to stamping them. Now of course, this is definitely optional. Like, you do not have to stamp your soap at all. However, I personally like to stamp mine because I just love the way that they look. And I will show you my stamp here. So this is my stamp. I went on Canva and did the little image, what I wanted it to say, and then I sent it over to this shop on Etsy, and they did the stamp for me. They made my stamp for me, but it's like a hard plastic, and then the handle is a wooden handle, and it's been holding up really well throughout the years that I've had it. So definitely worth the investment, and it was very inexpensive. And no, I am not sponsored by them either, by the way. So, but now let me get my cling wrap so that way we can cover this up and we won't get any soap in our stamp. And there we have it. So let me know what you think down below in the comments section. And yeah, let me know what you think. Alright y'all, so here is the recipe for this soap. Now feel free to tweak it, add, take away. If the coconut oil is too high for you, definitely come down on it. And I will also have a video linked in the description, a detailed video about how to use soap cal. That will be linked down below. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have not done so already, please consider leaving me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. And to all of our wonderful supporters out there, we love and thank you guys so much. And until next time, I will see you guys later.